Just before we start, I just wanted to mention one thing quickly. Helos & Co. and Sporting Club Helos are independent missions. They're both run solely by myself. So if you could like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, it would mean the world. Check out helosandco.com. And without further ado, let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to Helos and Homies. Once again, it's me. I'm sure you're shocked. And today, there's no guest at all. It's just me doing a solo potty. I see Theo Von do solo ones, not to compare myself to the GOAT, but I see him do solo ones, and sometimes they're they're what I enjoy the most, I feel. And I've heard a few other people say that about other podcasts where people kind of talk solo. Bedros Koulian does it. And there's a few other ones out there that people seem to really enjoy. So I thought I'd give it a crack. I've already done one for my 50th episode, and coming into the end of the year, a lot of my guests tend to be a bit older than myself. I'm 23, don't have a family. A lot of my guests tend to do have family, and coming into Christmas, currently recording on the 17th of December on the Sunday, I don't really want to bug anyone to come on as well. So, I figured may as well do a solo one, talk through the year that was. Commercially wise, not like the greatest year. No hiding that. I still wake up at 5:30, 6 a.m. every morning to get in the high vis and deliver parcels to people. But in terms of like experience and the people met, it's definitely one of my fondest years so far, and challenging as well. Not to mention, like, the balance of that is twofold. But yeah, first things first, I've got a structure for the show, so don't panic. It's not just going to be me mindlessly rambling. I've got a timeline of events that happened this year, which I think it'd be cool to talk through. For anyone that's going on a journey, whatever it may be, you could be, I don't know, setting out to do anything, whether it's physical activity, so say, setting out to do a marathon, or you're setting out to do a business. It's kind of a similar sentiment of I've got a real life timeline of the year that was, and you can kind of see where momentum picks up, where momentum drops off. And I can walk you through like a lot of the challenges I had this year as well. And I had a few questions sent in to me, and then a lot of people wanted to know what's the rough idea for 2024, which I will get into later. But first things first. So this studio I sit in was built earlier this year. This is the 2-7 project. And it's owned by genuine goers, to say the least. If you know who it's owned by, then you know that's a very true sentiment. But Tai Tuivasa, Chris, FTA, Nick Air, and man, I just wanted to shout out everyone involved with the 2-7 project itself. Like, you've got Bomber as well. So you got Nick Air, Bomber, Ty, Chris. Such amazing guys, man. They're all a bit older than me. They're all 30 plus. And me being 23, I'm not too far off in age where, we can't talk about a lot of things. But at the same time, like, I am a fair bit younger, and they've genuinely taken me under their wing. And they help me out so much, man. Because they know I do this podcast, whether it got 1 view or 100,000 views, they know I'd still be doing it because they know I want to hit around 500 episodes minimum. Honestly, I want to go for 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. But until then, I just keep chipping away, and the boys are in full support of it. And it means the world because they genuinely give back to their community. And I think that's a massive thing. A lot of people say they're going to give back, but they don't. I try to where I can, especially to the youngins from where I'm from or around Penrith as well. If I have any opportunities to pass on, I definitely do. And that's purely because I've seen those opportunities passed on to me by those boys. So it means the world to them. I wouldn't be anywhere without them. I was looking at clips I had Chubbs on recently, so that was the episode before this. And there's a clip where I clip up episode 5 with Chubbs, which is at the old studio. Love that place, open source. If you're ever in like Glendenning, Blacktown area, you need a music recording studio, open source. And yeah, it was just a roadcaster, and then I paid $50 a session there. And it was just my Canon camera as well. I just set up Helos and Homies with no fucking clue what was going on and just kept going. But I was looking at the clip, and it's crazy. It's crazy how far things have come, times have changed because of this place. Whether it's out there in the cyclorama wall or the open area, whether it's in here in the studio or upstairs in the boardroom, where there's some amazing ideas that come to life. So yeah, shout out to them. And also Tuesday, Beans and Seb, who are also part of the studio and part of the crew. They're the best people in the world. Absolute best people in the world. Most genuine souls. And shout out Tuesday, man. She like helps me organize everything. Fuck, man. I don't know where I'd be without her. Now, before I start this episode, it's critical to shout out a few people here. First of all, shout out Mum, just because shout out Mum. and dad, and Ron, my dog, and my brother and sister. But these people in particular are. If I didn't have them around, I'd be fucked. It probably wouldn't. Nothing would be happening, or it would be done just to such a lower quality. Especially this first guy, Suresh. So Suresh is my designer. He's was 2 grades below me at school. I don't know how I got in contact with him. I think someone just sent me his socials once, and we hop on a Zoom once every week or two. More often than not, we just talk about life. The other night, we were in a Discord call for like almost 3 hours whilst I was packing orders, and I think maybe 2.5 we were just talking about life and ideas around life and our thoughts and whatnot. But man, he's one of the best. His turnaround time's nuts. He's a genuine guy, and he does things like just out of his heart. So if he has an idea himself, he does it and then presents it to me rather than presenting the idea. And I think that's one of the nicest things you can do for someone owning a small business, but also just as a friend as well. Like, what a beautiful sentiment to maintain on a basis. And then you got young Jermaine and Ben. They are always in the switch room, or they're doing some, the photos and whatnot behind the scenes around the pod while I'm sorting out the podcast room. They come along. Sometimes I drag them along, but they come along to a lot of things. Jermaine is 19, I think, and Corn's 21. So yeah, a bit younger than me. I just drag them along to everything. Sometimes they're not too keen, but I still get them out and say, nah, fuck it, you come with me. And they help me a lot. So I can't thank the world enough for those two being around. And then also Cameron Flaherty, or Flat, as some of you may know him, young Cam F, if some of you know him as that. I'd be shocked if you know him as that. But, and Wira, Kundai. Those, Flat and Wira, man, those two guys, like this year that I've had, which has been pretty cool. Without them, there's no this year, They set those foundations in 2021, 2022. I don't really have Wira. He works for an NRL club, so I don't really bother him as much anymore. He comes through every once in a while, but I want him to like kill it in his career. I think I was the first guy I gave a photography thing to him for, which is cool to see where he's at. He's killing it. I love him so much. And then you got Flat, and Flat is unbelievably talented. He takes film photos of people in Helos gear without me even knowing or asking, which is the coolest thing in the world. But Flat's a producer, and I've said to Flat many a times, I would rather you be working on achieving your goals, because he's sonically, the way he hears things and operates is pretty remarkable, like very remarkable actually. So I often tell him, just do your own thing, man. Don't stress. Now, as for, and shout out these 2 other guys, Chief and Ollie. They have filled in for podcasts to switch. I think Ollie's done 2. I think Chief's done 3 or 4. Chief fucked up one of them. But besides that, love you, Chief. But besides that, unbelievable. Like, if you get friends like that, man, you're in for a good time. You're in for such a good time of life. If you get friends that, back your dreams like that, and also when push comes to shove, actually turn up. Obviously, it's on short notice. I don't blame anyone for not turning up. But when they do, man, they got their own lives. They got... Ollie's got a partner, and like Chief's got so many different things going on. He's got uni, he's got gym, he's got running, he's got his job as well. And same with Ollie, he's got a pretty full on job as well. So like for them to come through, take some time out of their night and to come switch a pod's pretty. It makes my heart warm. But yeah, I fuck man, solo pod's hard because you don't really have anything to bounce back off. But I created this timeline of the year that was. Now for the year that was. Most notably, launched Sporting Club Helos. You'll see that right here. I launched that at the start of the year. And the idea for Sporting Club Helos was, well, this is what it stemmed from. So I saw a lot of media articles growing up that just was shit. I used to go to the Wanderers games, and Rebecca Wilson, who has passed away, rest her peace, but I do need to bring her name up for this part of the conversation. She published an article when the RBB boys, who brought Australian football culture to the forefront and European football culture to the forefront of Australia, was getting so many people to Wanderers games. We ended up winning the Asian Champions League on our first go, which is nuts. Just nuts. I don't think it's ever been done. Our only Australian team to do it. She published photos with faces and minors were involved on the back page of the Telegraph of RBB boys who got into a bit of a biff or were lighting flares. God forbid someone lights up a fucking flare. And ever since then, my distrust, I think I was 14 or 15 at the time, my distrust for mainstream journalism went through the roof. And as you get older, you realize how bad mainstream media can be. obviously there's a lot to thank them for because they cover the game at a mass medium, and like they stream games and whatnot. There's obviously a lot to thank them for, but like their articles sometimes, man, it's so fucked up, and the way they target. I found the way they target colored players as well. My best example is, and a lot of people know this example, is say a white fella does something, something a bit rogue, so to speak. It kind of gets brushed under the carpet. If Latrell Mitchell does it or Jerome Luai does it, it's front page or back page of the newspapers, and it's all over Facebook. So my distrust just continued to grow and grow. I saw shit articles all the time, saw false information published, saw basic defamation published. I'm not sure if you saw the other day, Dane Laurie was printed in a paper. They thought Dane Laurie was a criminal when he was playing in the NRL at that time. They thought he was in jail for, I think it was either 2019 or 2020. Forgive me, that could be wrong. And they thought he was in jail. And that's like one of Australia's mainstream newspapers. So, yeah, I just thought, I just want to create like a media entity. I don't know what I really want to do with it. I love sport, and I was covering sport on Helos, but it didn't make sense, right? And I just thought, yeah, I'm going to create a media entity and just go from there. So that's what I kind of did. And that started at the end of last year. I think so from June, Suresh and I were designing the logo of 2022. And then I started producing content in September, October, ready to unload in January. I think it was like 150 pieces of content. And some of those pieces contain 10 things. So it could have been, it was basically like 1,000 photos in the camera roll, essentially, of like things I wanted to do and things I had loaded. And yeah, I just continued on towards the end of last year, building, making sure I was ready to drop. So then when I did drop, I could also focus on the podcast because the studio wasn't ready yet, opened in March this year. So I knew I was going to be in for a hell of a time come March, April. And I wanted to preload content, and then that's what I did. On the 13th of January, I got the Sporting Club Helos stickers. I love those things. And then on the 20th of January, SC Helos launched, which was pretty cool. And it was kind of a slow burn, but yeah, it started getting there. It was fun. The start of it was really fun. I was posting a lot of niche knowledge, Australian knowledge. And the reason I did that so I was posting about like Lionel Rose, Luke Longley, Mark Viduka. It's not niche if you know sport, but maybe some people it is, right? And in doing that, I gained Australian audience because I knew I wanted to do Sunday League. I had original content planned the whole time. January wasn't the time to shoot it. So I had all this original content, and I recognized myself as like, I need Australian sports fans. I'm not going to corner myself, which I sometimes do. I post too much football content, but I wanted to go, okay, I need fans. I need followers. How do I do that? Okay, I need Australian sports fans and New Zealand as well. Shout out to them. Shout out my Aotearoa brothers and sisters. But yeah, I just figured, okay, if I want to create that audience, I need to post niche content so that it kind of gets their attention and possibly gets the following thing. So it kind of did. 10K followers on TikTok, on the Sporting Club Helos account, and I think, forgive me if I'm wrong. I think it's like 600 on Instagram. Instagram's hard to grow on nowadays, eh? If anyone knows any tips, tricks, or hacks, let me know. But yeah, besides that, launched that, and the start of it was fun. Got a lot of compliments like, dude, I didn't know that. I really enjoyed that. And yeah, I took a lot of pride in that. Then 13th of February. So there's no pod at this time, so it's a bit of a slower start to the year, but I was just kind of putting things in place, ready to gear up. 13th of February, I met Tanner Fox. That was pretty cool. I grew up watching Tanner Fox on scooters. Now, for any of you that know Nick Hare before he was doing what he does now, he'd come up on scooters and yeah, scooters and skate park. And I grew up idolizing him. Jack Prenez, if you're listening, you'd know we idolize him. Jack Prenez's dad was a security guard one night and met Nick Hare and got a photo with him at like Rudy Hill RSL. Sent it to Jack, and Jack and I were fanboying. Then Jack and I went to the skate park, Wimley Skate Park. I filmed something with Jack just on a scooter or whatever. Sent it to Nick Hare. He didn't reply, dog. But I just idolized him for so long. And then in that scooter skate realm, there was so many athletes, but Tanner Fox was one of them, eh? Like, he was just this guy, killed it on social media. He was so good. And I just, love this guy, man. And his career path changed, but I got to meet him, which was kind of like, I felt like I ticked off like a childhood thing more than anything. When I was leaving after I met him, I was like, oh, yeah, 15, 14-year-old Falcon's pretty like stoked with that, I reckon. So yeah, that was really cool. And then 22nd of February, I wrote this down because it's very crucial. I started drawing the kits. So I bought a sketchbook at the start of the year, and I knew with Sporting Club Helos I wanted to release merch. Drink break, sorry. I knew I wanted to release merch, but what I was going to release and how I was going to release it kind of got a bit choppy. And I thought, all right, one thing default is football kits. And I didn't have the most revenue either. So I thought, yeah, football kits. I'm going to release them at the end of the year. So I started drawing them, and that's where that started. Then a few days later, I end up at the Sports Shed TV charity match, which was a rugby league charity match for the Mark Hughes Foundation and Ronald McDonald Foundation as well. Sick kits. And there was a lot of people there. Some names you may know: Mahmoud Ismail, John Bernard, who started that Colby Leon Edwards beef the other day, which is funny. Olin Tekers, Nick Stav, Trademark Sports, Nilso from What's New in the Castle, Jason David, who was a superstar in the day. So yeah, there was this whole bunch of people there. Moe Do Worry, and I got asked to play, and I was like, no, I don't think I can, boys. But what I can do is film. And that day, I brought Jermaine and J-Mac, and we were on the sideline and in the sheds, and we just filmed everything. Ended up putting a lot of the content on the Sporting Club Helos page, and that grew me as well. Like Jason David video got 100K. A lot of them got like 30 to 50K. And that pumped. So that was really cool. And that charity match was awesome. Funnily enough, I've never played a game of rugby league. My mother never let me. But the boys asked me to play again this year, well, 2024, early Feb or late Feb. And I said, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do it. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to run at the biggest bloke first run I get. You heard it here first. I asked some of the boys, I said, look, what should I do? I've never played a game of rugby league in my life. And they said, run at the small guy. And that told me exactly what I need to do is run at the big guy, because I don't want to run at a small guy, man. You know, I want to run at a big guy. If I get put on my ass, I get put on my ass. But take on the biggest challenge. Take on the biggest challenge when presented to you. Have a crack, see what happens. That's what I believe in. Then 10th of March rolls around. Things are slowly starting to roll. I get the Helos Havoc samples almost done, I think. And B-Wise and Micah come through for potties. B-Wise was fucking cool because I looked up for him for so long. And Micah was cool because we filmed it at open source and it fucked up. And then we came here. It fucked up on my end at open source. The audio corrupted. And then we came here and it was unbelievable. Like the quality upgrade and whatnot. And we just had a good yarn as well, which was really cool. But yeah, the B-Wise one was cool. Listening to him talk about the kid, how he brought Kid Cudi out to a Sydney warehouse party in like 2010. I think Day and Night was starting to blow up. It's such a crazy yarn. Like such a crazy yarn. So yeah, it was cool. What I learned from each guest. I think a lot of people would like to know that. I think a lot of people would like to know what I learned from each guest. B-Wise was definitely like how you handle business. Because he's managed to make a really successful career out of his art. And he gets good deals done and he gets his shit sorted. So B-Wise was definitely that. And he moves well. Like he doesn't release like anything. He releases this high quality product. Micah, talking to him, and this is reflected in the podcast, definitely like the troubles and the success of a creative, right? Like there's so many avenues, but and there's so much, the world's at your feet, but it can often be hard with so many paths available in this day and age, and being pulled in so many different directions. It can be tiring, and your energy is not your energy isn't allocated into the right things. So yeah, that's the main things I took away from those two. Micah, they're both so fucking talented, eh? Like they can both sing, model if they have to, rap. They can do it all. They can produce, like Micah can produce. I know B-Wise can produce as well. So yeah, man, those were really cool potties. That was on a Friday night. I think I got out of here at like 1 a.m. And then hat samples arrived that day as well. Those hats right there. I don't know if you can see them. I hope you can. The black and the orange truckers, they killed it, man. I had the idea of like these truckers. I love them. They took Suresh and I a fair bit of like back and forth to make sure they were done properly. So I put them up for sale not long after, which I'll get to. But when I dropped them, which was a bit later than the 10th, but it was a bit, I think it was more towards May, late April. But when I dropped them, it was a matter of, okay, I need to send free ones out to people to get them in front of faces. And what I did was give one to Ty. I gave one to everyone at the studio, gave one to Solo, gave a few to the 92 World Boys. I'll get into that later. What a crew. And yeah, eventually they picked up. I think I've got one black one left, and I think I've got 4 brown ones left. So if you want to grab one, feel free to. Thank you very much. Then 11th of March, new Helos and Homies logo. I didn't really have a logo. Oh, I had this like cream and blue one, which a girl named Ray Lynn did. And yeah, it was good, but I think I needed something a bit more like, yeah, just a bit more Helos in a sense. So yeah, I just did this Polaroid with Helos and Homies on it. And that was that. I don't know why I thought of the Polaroid. I think I was taking Polaroids a guess at the time. But yeah. Now, 12th of March, which is the day after, the first Sunday League video goes out. I think I did 20K on TikTok. It was just me talking about how we do beers and we got warm up. I didn't do a post-game speech, didn't do any of that. Just did this pre-game stupid yarn. They're so stupid when I look back at them, but fuck, they're funny sometimes. And yeah, that was the first Sunday League video that went out. And that's when I realized that got 20K when the account had only got like 1 or 2 100K views. And I was like, oh shit, people like this. I think they like the relatability. That's what I noted. I think they liked the relatability of the Sunday League. And I think that's why Hello Sport and the Inspired Unemployed kill it, is because they're relatable to the average Australian punter. Then 1st of April, I go through to Body Beyond to shoot some content, but more and help Jake open his gym. That took a few weeks to a month to really get started. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that I had Jake on the podcast twice this year. One pre-opening, one like in November. And man, like for those who don't know, if you haven't listened to the podcast already, Jake and I have known each other since we were 5. So it's 18 years of friendship, lived around the corner from each other essentially. And yeah, our whole lives. So it's cool to like talk to him, and we've like gone our own ways, but always reconnected. We've gone our own paths, always reconnected. We're very close now in our older age. But yeah, there was parts from like 16 to 20 where I wouldn't have seen Jake that much. And it was cool. It was cool to see like, it's just awesome to go in there and just talk to him. And like now I go in there and we organize videos, ideas and stuff so I can like kind of do my part to help my mate, because I find that fulfilling. It's not about, like money, couldn't give a fuck about money. But I do enjoy, I could care about money. I just don't want it from one of my best friends. I want them to pocket everything. But with Jake, I go in there and I always think like, how the fuck can we make this business do better? You know? And we there's always something to improve on. And we manage to get there every time, which is really cool. I find that very fascinating. And the thing I enjoyed about doing all that work in April was I was there and filming videos of like the gym being built. And at the time they were cool, but I think in 10 years they'll be even cooler. So yeah, that was very fulfilling. Around Anzac Day, to the Bomber and Nick Air pod, what else is there to say? For the Bomber gave me my first chance ever. So he knew Flat. Well, no, Nick Air knew Flat because Nick Air used to do this camp at Monster Skate Park where he'd teach kids how to, I think it was Jewel. He had one of the boys with him who could ride scooters, blah, blah, blah. And so they were teaching the boys how to do tricks. Bear in mind, it was like 2014, 2013. And then Nick Air would teach young filmmakers like tips and tricks of videography and photography. And he met Cameron there, well, Flat, young Cam F, if you know him as that. Shocked if you do. But he met Flat there. Then him and Flat knew each other pretty well. Flat was kind of under his wing for a bit. And then Flat introduced me to Bomber, and we did, episode 1 of Talent? Time for Talent? Yeah. Oh, fuck. What was that? 2021. And then later that afternoon, met Nicky on the Friday night. That was my first time meeting him. That was in 2021. I was fanboyed a bit. And then, yeah, they had that studio, and then they opened up here, and I got to do a podcast with him, which was awesome. Bomber was my first guest. Nicky was either my 3rd or my 4th, which was really cool as well. So to have him back on meant a lot to me sentimentally. Like, because no matter what I do, say everything I've ever dreamed of, I achieve it, which I like to believe I will. It doesn't happen without those two, you know? So I always keep them at a high regard in my mind and in my heart, because, man, they took a chance on me when no one really needed to. And speaking of that, the first brand that reached out to me to just like send me stuff was Red Bull. I don't drink Red Bull. I'll be so real. It's actually a bit of a moral dilemma. I haven't drunk caffeine or like Red Bull or coffee, I should say, in like 12 to 15 months. And when I was getting sent some, I obviously don't drink it. But yeah, I got sent some and it was like, oh, should I post about it even though I don't drink it? But I definitely wanted to because a lot of people still do. And it's not so much I have a problem with caffeine. It's not so much my problem with like the company. Rather, I just got hopped off caffeine, really. And yeah. So I had a bit of a moral dilemma there, which I'm still having when brands reach out a lot. And it plays my mind a bit because at some point you need to make money, but you don't want to sell out. You know, you'd rather be, what's that Rob Whittaker quote? Don't be a sellout. Don't be rich and famous in the UFC. I'd rather be a broke bricklayer or something like that. Don't be a sellout. So I try to maintain that. But yeah, Red Bull definitely. And the thing about Red Bull more than anything is what they do for the music scene. Aligned with what I believe in. So they had like freestyle series and they did these little cover pieces. Not so much anymore because that like long form content doesn't really exist. But it does, but just not like 7 to 10 minute videos. Just people aren't watching them, eh? And but yeah, Red Bull had a lot of things I aligned with. So I was like, yeah, I'll link up with them. That's for sure. And yeah, God love them. I don't like what they do with their football club. I don't like football clubs I don't like these groups that own 5 to 10 football clubs under a group. But that's in Europe. That's not over here, is it? So not my battle to fight. Neither that I could fight it solo either. I need to get an army. Then, so Red Bull sends me stuff, which is really cool. And then in the following weeks, Josh Miguel, Florentino, some may know him. Forum with Florentino was his show. Awesome show. Such a cool guy. Wings from Take Flight. And Stav hop on the pod. Fucking Stav. I only met at the charity match and we got along pretty well. But Stav, actually, before I begin further, those 3 guys like all the posts, often comment and whatnot. So shout out to them. 3 awesome, amazing people. But Stav, the thing that was fascinating about Stav was we'd only met once and then we got on the pod and we were just yarning about football. And that's, for those who don't know, like it's my natural habitat. And Stav got made into a fucking edit. He was talking about like fans in like the 2nd division coming, which is the ethnic clubs. He got made into this edit and it pumped. It did like 150 to 200K, which I thought was fucking unreal, man. That was the first time Helos made an edit. It was pretty cool. It had like that, like those edit sounds, you know, like it was, imagine like a Chiellini edit Euros at the Euros in 2020. Same type of vibe, you know. But yeah, so Stav pod did really well. The clips killed it. Wings pod was really cool because I was talking to someone who has such a love for hip hop. There's no one that loves hip hop more than that guy, man. That guy works his fucking ass off. He has a full-time job and a family, and he still maintains all that shit. Man, what a hustler. And then Florentino, I actually went to uni with him. He hopped in here. I think we just started recording. He goes, by the way, did you go to Western Sydney University, this class? He's like, dude, I was in your class. And when I saw it and when he said it, it clicked. Crazy moment. Everything comes full circle. Then, yeah, later in the month, I have Jason on. I had Jason on earlier in the piece as well when I was at Open Source. And then, yeah, we became friends. We linked up many times, gone to his barbershop, done some photo shoots. God love that kid, man. What a hustler. What a beautiful human as well, man. Just in terms of how he operates and how he sees the world, man. What a guy. But, yeah, had him on. And then I had Will Star. Oh, actually, no, I forgot to fucking do this. I'll talk about what I learned from the Miguel, Wings, and Stav pod. Miguel, creativity, how to harbor it, how to use it, how to channel it. Wings, how to maintain when passion seems to fail, because it sometimes will, how to maintain that drive and discipline. That guy does not fucking stop, man. And yeah, just what it takes to do it, right? Like Take Flight's killing it. He's still working a full-time job. So yeah. And then Stav, what did I learn from Stav? That I love fucking... The thing about Stav that I realized is if I wanted to do another football podcast, I could. I did one in 2021. Shout out Jaden, man. We did Ausside football. I have a lot of regrets in terms of I didn't really push my weight on that as much as I should have. And I wish I did more. But it is what it is. Jaden's in a very successful career and we're still good friends. I actually texted him this morning. Everton just beat Burnley, 4 games in a row, clean sheets, 4 wins. They got deducted 10 points. Killing it. He's a big Toffees fan, so it was really cool. Got to message him this morning about all that. But yeah, Jason Pop, what I learned from Jason, just thing I learned from Jason is that the hustle, regardless of your hustle, there's ways to diversify your income. That's for sure. That's what I learned from Jason. And if you believe in something and you surround yourself with the right people, you'd be surprised where you end up. Like he was barbering former NBA champions' hairs, which is fucking cool, man. I can't name them because they're NDAs and whatnot, but yeah, he was barbering former NBA champions, which is cool. But also there's rappers, I won't say their names because I don't think Jason's ever said them out loud, so it's not my place to say them. But yeah, there's just rappers that he's linked up with and cut hair for. It's like, holy fuck. And then he's got Juicy Apparel. And you're like, all right, this kid's on. Like, he's 20, man. He does all that shit. It's crazy to me. Crazy to me. Then I had Will Starr on. Will Starr is unbelievable producer. Seemingly quiet, just a boy from Mountie. Lives out towards Sydney now. Has songs with Ariana Grande, DJ Mustard. And it was cool because he'd never done a podcast. Somehow managed to get him in. And I got the best feedback off that one, like by far. Drink break again. But yeah, the Will Star potty, man, that was just, it was so cool. I learned so much about the music industry. And Will Star is an introvert. So he was pretty shy. So it was a good challenge for me to try and get the best out of him. And also just like I hadn't met him. A lot of these guests, man, I meet once, twice, maybe. Sometimes I've never met them and they come straight into this room and we just talk. And it can be confronting for them for sure. So yeah. We'll start. Yeah, I learned a lot about like how long it takes to make it. Like he's in his 30s now and he was producing at like 18 or 19 in Mountie. And now he's got songs with Ariana Grande on her most successful album. And if you know what Ariana Grande's numbers is for her most successful album, you're touching hundreds of millions. So yeah, that was cool, man. That was cool to link up with someone who's got stuff like that going on for him. 13th of June. What's it say here? Oh yeah, shot the first campaign of the hoodies, which was cool. I fucking love those hoodies, man. They were cool, man. Helos International. And then the idea for the kits. So on that shoot itself with Eddie and Bella, I believe, and Young Jamae, I actually got the idea for the first... No, I got the first mock-up for the kits from Suresh, which was really cool. And yeah, that was like... I got them during that shoot and it kind of threw me off the shoot because I was like, oh, fuck. This is awesome. And that was where the first idea for the kits come from. But yeah, we shot the hoodies, which was black crew neck, green and tan hoodie as well. And then 7-0 and Marv's pod. Now, Marv's was 4th or 5th guest on Helos and Homies. And having Marv's back on is always an honor. I get along with him so well. We've seen each other at so many events now, so many different places. What a lovely guy, man. Just such a genuine soul. He's one of those people, like, the thing I learned of him is just keep it genuine and you'll surround yourself with the right people. That's the thing about Marv's, man. He's surrounded by some beautiful souls and that's all a byproduct and a consequence of how he operates, a good consequence, you know? Like, he's just such a genuine person. He has genuine intentions and, yeah, I always love talking to him. I'd have him on every week if I could. And then 7-0. So 7-0 and I hadn't... We talked out there for 5-10 minutes, but besides that, like, I don't know. We hadn't really met, right? And I messaged him out of nowhere, just like, hey, I want you to come on the pod. Sent my message out. And he comes on. And the thing about the 7-0 thing is I did a lot of research. And I knew that... How do I put it? I knew when the interview started, I wanted to straight away to get on the good side. I do this with a lot of guests, is I do my research very thorough. And within the first 10 minutes, I want to get something out that's from thorough research. So they immediately go, okay, I respect this. This guy has done his research. At a minimum, even if they disagree with what I'm saying, I've done my fucking research, you know? That's what I always say to people. It's about respect. It's not about anyone liking you. It's about respect. And yeah, I did that with 7-0 and the respect was there. And then we got along like a fucking house on fire. Johnny was in the room as well, Johnny Lee. Lovely humans, man. And then I got introduced to 92 World, which I'll lap around to later. Then I shot with Rama, who was had his first fight ahead of him. He had an ATT opponent, Australian top team. Yeah, he had an ATT opponent, but he was training out of Lura, which is like a MMA gym in the bush. Oh, God. Oh, fuck. Sorry, I'm so tired. 4 hours sleep, we're here. I'm going to leave that in. I'm not cutting it. Shot with Rama. And yeah, Lura, it's in Lura up in the mountains. And it's in the middle of the bush. It's a homemade gym. It's the coolest thing in the world. And consequentially, by consequence, yeah, I did a video of like the gym and it sent their Sporting Club Helos count into another level. I think it got 700K by the time it was done, which was really cool. So yeah, and that's not a trend or anything. That was just me like filming the gym. That was a genuine original idea and video. And to get 700K on that, I am very pleased with. When you get like numbers on like a trend, you kind of feel like, at least I do for brands, you kind of feel like a bit of a cheat and no one's going to remember that rather than remember like your original ideas. That's just my thoughts. They don't represent anyone else's. So yeah, that was cool. He ended up fighting this guy from AT&T and I think a lot of people kind of doubted him. He ended up knocking him out. So yeah, shout out Rama. I think he's got his next fight coming up. Elijah Yo pod was next and then the Cat Haddad pod. What did I learn from those two? Elijah Yo, man, the first guy I ever linked with in music was Soka, which I got to see this year again, which was cool. That was a nice full circle. I got to link up with him again. But Elijah gave Soka his first chance. Elijah was already killing it, but they did round 2 together. And yeah, that was cool to have Elijah on because I've loved his music for 4 or 5 years at the time. So yeah, unreal artist. What did I learn from Elijah? Oh, back yourself. Oh, fuck yeah. He backs himself up big time, man. That's what I learned from Elijah Yo. Back yourself to the fucking trenches. You'll see where it gets you, man. He's gone very far. He's gone so far in this life and he'll continue to kill it and tap into new areas he didn't even think was possible because he just backs himself so fucking hard. Cat Haddad. The one thing about Cat that I learned was being Cat. First of all, I met Cat at the charity match. First of all, amazing human. And I've got to stop saying first of all. But yeah, amazing human. And I had her on the pod and we were just yarning about football. But working in media as a woman and like kind of breaking into that, I had a stark realization of how harsh that can be and the challenges that face that and the criticism, like the relentless, I should say, the relentless criticism that comes with women having opinions on men's sport. And then you go like, well, they speak, I find they speak more level-headed than some of us like real passion diehard fans. And you need that. You need level-headed people in the commentary. And man, you saw with the Matildas, like the women in football, man, in Australian football, women are such a critical part of it. And people like Kat, her dad, Sasso as well, whilst I'm at it, shout out to her. Same with Danny Perello. They're all part of the same crew. But yeah, like our commentators, our football players, like we're in such a healthy environment. And Kat, yeah, kind of awoke me to women in sports challenges, but also to how healthy women's football is in Australia more than anything. Already knew it was in good stead, but yeah, that was a beautiful reminder because I have 2 nieces under 2. If you follow my personal, you probably know that. I post them all the time. I'm fucking not sorry about it either. I love them to death. But yeah, having 2 nieces under 2 and they've both already got Arsenal kits. I'm working on getting some Fiorentina baby kits. But yeah, knowing that they can go down that football route and truly kill it is awesome. Because if they have their Zeals genes, man, they'll probably end up at Colo for their whole life. But so, you never know where they could end up. They could be a prodigy. Then 6th of July, dropped the hoodies. It didn't go as well as I thought, eh? I'm happy to be quite frank about that. Yeah, they didn't go as well as I thought. Overestimated. I overshoot a lot. I don't know why. I think I get in my head and then I believe what I tell I think I overshoot a lot. No, I do. I overshoot a lot. And then I get in my head thinking, oh, what's wrong with me? And then I build back up my confidence. overshoot again because I tell myself, oh, this person will buy this person. Like, or, there's a certain amount of orders, blah, blah, blah. The marketing campaign is going to kill it. And then sometimes it doesn't. And then I just get in this endless cycle of like trough, fucking high, a high that's not even there. And then sometimes there's a high that actually is there and I don't realize it. And then I don't know, man. But yeah, actually in terms of product hoodie wise, they were some of my favorites, man. The Black Crew neck, oh, fuck, that was good stuff. Also loved the green. It had like an avocado type of thing to it. So yeah, I loved the green. Then a few days later, the potty didn't do that well, but not the potty, the hoodies didn't do that well. But a few days later, Isaac John replies and he goes, yeah, I'm down to do some podcasts because I bothered him for a while about it. And fuck, man, what a full circle moment. I remember reaching out to him in like 2017 and there's clips of it. I reached out to him in 2019 for a job. I've reached out to him plenty of times for a job. I've listened to all his content, like YKTR in there, like when YKTR had a massive crew, watched everything. Man, oh, wow. Like, it was cool. It was cool. I say wow because I'm talking about me, how far I came. Like, I didn't think I'd actually be able to nail that. And I walked in there on my own 2 feet, on my own merit, and held like a 2.5 hour. I think I was there for 3.5 hours, held a massive conversation with him. So, yeah. And then I went straight to State of Origin, which is cool. But yeah, like knowing that I could do that and achieving that. And that's off the back of linking up with Bomber and Nick especially. That's on the back of that because those meetings reinforce the idea that if I speak something into the universe, I can achieve it. And then I did it. And then the ice thing happened. And then that was the biggest that was the most reaffirming moment. Sorry, I'm not really good with my words. But that was my most reassuring moment of I am who I say I am. There's an undeniable stack of evidence that I am who I want to be. I am becoming the man I think I could become. And I'm on my way. And I can hold my own with, like, these guys, man. They have years in business. They have years in professional sports. I'm 23. I got fucking sacked from Coles 4 years ago. 2023. 5 years ago for eating a Frankfurt in the cool room because I was hungry, right? At Christmas time. These things, like, I worked pizzas until I was 21 and JB Hi-Fi and finished my uni degree at the end of 2021. Last year, jumped into Helos along with working as a courier, and I still do all that. So my experience compared to theirs is none, but through my years of watching journalism and reading journalism and watching homemade documentaries, so to speak, where people have to do a fuck ton of research by themselves, I've kind of built up the confidence to be able to talk to these people, ask good questions. I've learned a bit about body language, learned a bit about how to engage with people, how to let people speak. I struggle with that sometimes. Like when someone's speaking, I'll just say, yeah, out of nowhere. I don't know why I do that. Got to work on that. But yeah, the ice potty, man, that was cool. Then a few days later, or the next day, I'm pretty sure, bam, bam. I got the news a lot earlier than when it came out because it's at a commercial level, things take a while to come out. But yeah, Ty, Bam Bam, wore the Helos Havoc in a Neds ad that got used as a paid ad for Neds on TikTok, YouTube, all that. And there's just my trucker hat. That was fucking cool, man. That was such an awesome moment because I got to show my family. It's like, look at this, like one of the best heavyweights in the world at the time. Still is. He'll fucking knock that Ty Burrow prick out. But yeah. It was just cool. It was just cool. And a lot of the boys like, oh, yeah, like, that's cool. That's mad, Falk. Like, you're on your way, eh? So, yeah, that was really cool to see that. 16th of July. So, the night before, Ben Korn, the youngin I mentioned before, I say youngin, he's 21. He had his 21st. And a lot of the boys, we had Sunday League the next morning at 9 or 10 a.m. And that was the best Sunday League video by far. I think it did 400K. Basically, just open. All the boys in the football team went essentially. They were all of them were pretty drunk, and the next day they're all scatters as you can imagine. And I just open up with like Ben's still drunk. Trav was vomiting out of car 4 hours ago. We have no referee. We have 14 players today, which is shock, blah, blah, blah. I still almost remember it off by heart. Delivered it pretty well, and that did like 400K, which was really cool. So yeah, that was one of my best Sunday League videos. And happy birthday to Ben. Then the next week came around and Squat Deadface, I found out, lives around here. He's this famous painter, most notable for, or famous artist, I should say, most notable for West Side Guns album covers. Some, not all. And found out that he's from Western Sydney. And I said, hey, can I just come through and shoot? Like, just shoot you doing your thing in a Helos hat. That's all I want to do. And I did that. And I got there and I looked to my right and there was this piece of Nipsey Hussle. Unbelievable. In his, like, this shed that he has and there's paint everywhere and stuff. It's a true artist environment, which I love. I love seeing people in their element. Nothing G's me up more than, this is a tangent. Nothing G's me up more than seeing people like truly chase what they want to chase and like, yeah, seeing people truly in their environment, in their habitat and creating things they're really proud of. Because it's that sense of, okay, like if this person was to, if something was to ever happen to this person, say it happened tomorrow, at least that person was doing something they loved. I think that's people's biggest, some of people's biggest fears is that they die not ever trying to pursue what they loved or had a passion about. And seeing people do that, have a passion and chase after it like a dog, man. Unbelievable. So yeah, went in there, Nipsey Hussle piece on the right, look to the left, Ice Cube's head's there. I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, what's this about? He goes, oh, Ice Cube's on this song that I'm doing the cover art for, which is cool. So technically 1 degree away from Ice Cube. So Ice Cube, reach out, come on the podcast. But yeah, what did I learn from Squat Deadface? Oh, actually, I forgot to mention what I learned from Ice. What did I learn from Ice? Oh, think before you fucking answer a question. Oh, I learned that. He stops a bit and I learned that and I was doing it in the podcast as well. I'd kind of like just take a half a second to kind of figure out what he's just said and deliver my answer in an articulate and thoughtful way. That's what I learned from him is his thought process and his thoughtfulness is next to none. Then yeah, linked with Squat Deadface. What a guy, man. What a guy. And then I had the Paddy P pod on and he owns 4 Walls, which is barbershop and a fashion brand. And one thing I learned about him, man, is like that childhood passion, it might not ever leave you. And if it doesn't, then don't force it to leave, eh? Like he loved breakdancing growing up and he still incorporates it. It's one of the only spots in the city where you can go have a breakdance tournament is at his barbershop out of all places. So, man, yeah. And when COVID hit, that kind of fucked him up. And when there's a will, there's a way. That's what I learned from Paddy P. Now, 29th of July, I had the first 92 XP session. So you get invited to this backyard and the whole crew from 92 World, from Reezy to CV to 70 to Jazz to, PW or Pee-wee. Man, look good. Like, I'm so sorry if I'm forgetting anyone's name. Man, they just play live music and it's fucking unbelievable, eh? Another drink break. It is like unbelievable. Unbelievable. It is some of my favorite things to do. Or one of my favorite things I did this year was go to 2 92 sessions, man. Food there was amazing. And you just, like, dude, the way these people can play music, it honestly startles me a bit thinking about it, eh? Like the way they can play music and especially Pacific Islanders, their voices and their sonic, their recognition of what sounds good sonically is next level. And being able to be there and experience that and be welcomed into those places is nothing short of an honor. And yeah, man, went out to Maroubra for the day. That shit was awesome. Then 24th of July, so I'm backtracking a bit, but got my first Helos and Grow like design kind of done. And we all know what came with that. So that was cool. 1st of August, did my 50th episode. That's cool, man. 50 episodes is pretty cool. I think I'm only on like 60. What would this be? 64? Yeah, it will be. It'll be 64. So I haven't done that many. I've been away for 4 or 5 weeks in there, and I've had a few pods that I've done pull out, which is a bit harsh, but it is what it is. Or like I've recorded them, edited them and everything, and then they've gone, no, I don't think I can put it out. But yeah, in terms of like the 50th episode, that was cool, man, because that got a lot of love. I think, I could be wrong, On the Helos account, generally get like 50 to 100 likes per thing. Now, I will show you. This is in real time. Sorry for going on my phone in real time. Oh, gosh, it's going to take me a while. But, yeah, that got like a lot of love from a lot of people, which was really cool. Oh, actually, it's not good. It's not that far away. I'm already in August. Yeah, 50. 300 likes. Fuck, man, that's cool. I honestly forgot I got 300 likes. So yeah, that was cool, and that was just me talking, answering questions from those nearest and dearest to the brand. So I love that. I loved that. Then kits were done. So we got like the final design done. So I sent them off for sampling, or organized a guy, and yeah, we got some samples done. Got that production underway, and such exciting times at the time, eh? Another yawn. I'm so sorry. I'm so tired. But keeping the energy, or the Eno as the boys call it. Then 9th of August did another Jed Drew pod. Jed is, local legend. MacArthur left or right winger. He's killing it this year. He's having a really good season. But yeah, it's just him and I talking football. Once again, element type of stuff. What did I learn from Jed? Oh, fuck. The fucking reality of a footballer. How good it is, how startling it can be, and how much pressure is put on you at a young age. I like to try and keep compassion for people regardless of their situation, whether they're rich, famous, poor, anything, whatever it is. I try and keep compassion. And with Jed, obviously he's in a really blessed position, but like when he talks about like football and all that type of stuff, it's like there's still a level of compassion you hold for athletes in terms of like the image they got to maintain and playing for certain clubs at certain times and stuff like that. So yeah, but also learned, like, the thing about Jed is he keeps it calm at all times. So I've a takeaway every time around Jed, I'm a bit more level headed, which is a nice place to be in. James Tahuna pod on the 15th of August, recorded with James Tahuna. I just came from shooting at his new gym with his brother Tama. Shout out BroFit. But yeah. James, man, that was my first time interviewing a UFC fighter. Interviewed Paul Fleming, who was a boxer. But yeah, that was cool, man, because it was like I got to go rewind the tapes of the first Australian and New Zealand UFC fighter, with Mark Hunt. And we've developed a good friendship since. So that was really cool. What did I learn from James? Fucking be the last in the room. He's big on that. Pretty sure like everything he's attempted at, like first MMA session got fucking smacked about. First like deadlifting competition, he got fucking hammered, and then he ends up becoming professional MMA, kills it at deadlifts, or I don't know, weightlifting competitions, all that type of stuff, So yeah, he is a massive advocate to be the last in the room. He's such a hard worker, him and his brother. So. And they're contagious energy, man. And when you're around them, you're like, God, this is what a fucking workhorse look like. Like, these guys are animals. So, yeah, did that, and that was cool. On the 16th of August, celebrated 7 years of Helos. We did a mystery boxes for that, and the mystery boxes did really well. Yeah, so we did 3 tiers. We did a $50 box, we did an $80 box, did a $100 box. And that was cool. The amount of value you got in the $100 box is fucking nuts. I'm pretty sure like some people were getting 5 pieces of clothing. So yeah, did those, and that was a really cool way to celebrate 7 years and give back to people. Also a good way to just kind of clear the shop out whilst also giving value back to people. And yeah, day after that, recorded the Caleb Coroneos pod. The thing about Caleb, man, is like the one thing you'd learn around that kid is that there's plenty of ways to make money. That's the one thing you learn around that kid, eh? And you can turn any story into whatever you want it to be. He has a fucked up childhood, and he turns it into like a mini documentary this year. So, you can turn any story in whatever you want it to be. 23rd of August, have Kev back on the pod, 24 karat Kev. What did I learn about Kev? Oh, the way you carry yourself is very important. He's such a smart guy, man. Like, genuinely such a high intelligence. And the way he carries himself is just next to none, eh? Like, he's just... Yeah, man. One of the all times. Like, he's an awesome human. He is an awesome human, and the way he talks and the way he can articulate a point, he's a true journalist. And you saw that in the 1-4 documentary. He's just, yeah. such a cool person to be around. 29th of August, get the 6-a-side kits. Now, Sunday League had finished up by this point. And I was kind of facing a dilemma on what to do with 6-a-side coming up. And I ended up doing like 6-a-side mic'd up, but we also got these custom kits done. Shout out to Deploy Football. And that was cool. That was my, seeing Sporting Club Helos on a kit, names on the back, and like a design like me and Suresh came up with. That was sick. So, yeah, I was really happy with that. And shout out to Deploy, man. They were one of the first companies to put like their faith in me this year. So that was cool. 9th of September, did 3 things that day. No, 4. Shot Helos and Grow in the bush. Shot Helos and Grow at the gym. Jake's gym, Body Beyond. Did a podcast with Mason Dane. The audio fucked up. And what was the other one? Oh, Panthers beat Warriors. But yeah, that has nothing to do with Helos. So I don't know why I mentioned it. If I mentioned every Panthers game, I would have been here a while. But Mason Pod, the audio fucked up. But man, there were some gems in there. He talked about this uncle who was a famous jazz player. Like no one knew about that. And and I fucked up the audio. So I kind of felt like I did a disservice to him. I wanted to put it out regardless because I believe in putting it out regardless. People may take something away from that anyway. But yeah, man, I wish I did it better. I'm going to have him back on, that's for sure. It's going to be a redemption season. No doubt. But yeah, what a talented human as well, right? Like for T-Pain to put his faith in you, you got to have something about you. And he definitely has something about him. So yeah, man, he's such a cool human to have around. And he was an awesome chat as well. Like he came from Newcastle and then came here and then went to do a show that night. Like that's nuts. That's so crazy to me. 10th of September, Out West after party. Izzy had just lost to Strickland. Ty just lost to Volkov. Maybe. Oh, shit. Have I fucked that up? I don't know. Tyson had won, though. A few of the other boys won or lost. But, yeah, they were all at the Out West after party, and that was cool because that was my first time, engaged. 92 World were there as well. But that was my first time engaging with, high-level celebrities in, that environment. And, it was cool to see, man. That was cool. And it was cool to see West kind of put on, and it showed Panthers has the capacity to host some serious events, whether it wants to or not. But there is the capacity to host some seriously cool events. I have no doubt if Ty won and Izzy won, that place would have been bonkers. 13th September, DJ Discretion Pod. What did I learn from DJ Discretion? Oh, man, if you stay in your lane, you're in good stead. Like, that guy seems so happy and healthy because he just stays in his own lane, does his own thing. I think that's one thing I take away from him is, don't be afraid to stay in your own lane and just do your own thing, man. Everything will work out. He's in such a good position. And he kills it, and he's articulate. He doesn't swear. And, yeah, man, he's got the world at his feet. He was doing international shows not long after that pod. Then the week after, I did a pod with Double Six. Chief, unfortunately, the laptop went black in front of him, which means it's dead, and he didn't think anything of it. And we recorded a whole podcast like that. So we're going to put that out. I said, nah, 2 of the boys were only here anyway, so we ended up getting the third one in, Izzy, and no, not Izzy, Slim. Yeah, Izzy. And yeah, so you have Cisco, Izzy, Slim. Did Double Six pod, and that did really well. I think I'm going to check live on the podcast, YouTube, my channel. In terms of views, I think it could be popular. Yeah, it's 5th. It's on 800 views. So you've got Jordan Simi on 1.7, Isaac John on 1.6, 7 on 1.1, Caleb Cornelius on 975. Double Six, and then Bo G'd up, Solo, and then Jed Drew, Will Star, Nick Stav. Shit. Some decent views in there, man. Like the Bomber one got 475 off the bat. Just shows, man, if you start something, do it properly. So I feel like if I started that, well, obviously I didn't have a choice, right? But if I started that podcast in here, I don't know. I don't know about that actually, because the old one is just part of the journey. You know, you don't want to disrupt the journey. But yeah, Double Six Pod. I got along with those boys like a house on fire, eh? And then they shot the music video Hereafter with Aaron Bull. And that was cool. It was cool to show Jamae like that side of the world as well. Like he is a hip hop dancer. Like Jamae loves his hip hop, loves his breakdancing. And so he's kind of like watching that kind of culture. Not to say the boys were dancing, but like he's watching hip hop in real time. Behind the scenes, they had a luxury car in and whatnot. It was cool to give Jamae that experience. Another drink break. Another 92 World Pod. We were just talking about everything. And they're my friends. Yeah, and that's cool to say. It's like I invited 701 for a podcast. Suddenly I got like 10 new friends. That's what life's about, dude. That's what life's about. That's how I see it, at least. I love that crew, man. Chef came on. I love Chef, Iranian boy. And he's fucking 3 or 4 years older than me. But yeah. And Jazz, Jazz, man, he's one of the best artists in this country. Like, they all are that crew. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart. That's not bias. You listen to Reezy, you listen to CV, you listen to Planet Vegeta, which is 7-0, Jazz, and Look Good. You listen to their solo music, and you're like, wow. But they're fiercely independent. So the numbers may not be at the level they deserve to be at, but I guarantee in due time, they'll be pumping serious numbers, man, because they are so fucking talented. And after that, a few nights later, we had the Take Flight Bodega event where 92 grams, they had their pop-up food shop. Lamb snack pack I always get from them. It's so cool. 92 World's this all-encompassing thing. Look it up if you haven't. But yeah, it's got like 5 or 6 subsidiaries. And it's just a crew of like 10 people, man, which is fucking remarkable how they do it. Take Flight Bodega event. That was cool. Got to meet a lot of artists. Jack Billy was there. He's not an artist, but Thursday was there. Tokyo Vendetta. I remember her being there. I remember 92 World being there. Dibs was there. Faith. Mavs, Elijah Yo, Soka. It was just a cool night, man. Got to meet a lot of people and hang out with a lot of people, and yeah, that was really cool. Just hanging out with the crew, you know, and just seeing a lot of familiar faces, meeting new faces as well. 17th of October, I had it in my photos like a run club draft. So in September, for those who didn't realize, on a personal level, I ran 140 kilometers, not for any other reason. I think I said to Tom and Chief before the month started, I said, I want to run 50 kilometers in a month. I was freaking out about that. And then, I got to 50 within like 8 or 9 days. And then I was like, oh, fuck, like, may as well do 100. Got to 100 with, I think, a week left and managed to pump out another 40. So, yeah. And so then I thought, fuck, I want to launch a run club, which I'm in the process of doing. That will be 2024. We'll get to that later. But that was 17th of October, 2023. It was the first time that run club idea actually hit me. And we had designs done as well, me and Suresh in a call. 21st of October, we shoot the jerseys. Oh, man, I got the samples on the 12th, I think. Oh, yeah. And, man, these jerseys, I love them so much. I love them. It's my pride and joy. It's the coolest product I've created by far. Yeah, and the truckers as well. Because with these, it's kind of like this is like a box cut with this collar. Sleeves are a specific size. It's got the stitching here. It's got 2 tags at the bottom. It's like a cut and sew project. Same with that. That's got the patch on the front. Then it's got stitching on the side and on the back as well. And that kind of like that custom, not so much bulk produced product, even though it is technically like more than a few produced. It's still, I think a lot of people really enjoy that. And I think you take a lot more pride as a creator when there's some individuality to an aspect of it. So yeah, shot the jerseys. I think it was like 9 of us boys. That was cool just to have the whole crew around. That was a very wholesome moment. 22nd of October, another 92 session. They previewed the album and they also show us their documentary. Fucking tried some new recipes as well. Man, if you told me every fucking Sunday there was a 92 session, I'd play Sunday League, then go straight there. And that would be me set for the rest of my life. And then I'd probably go see my family for dinner. If I could do that every Sunday, I think I'd be the happiest man alive. Honestly, I fucking love 92 sessions, man. They're the best. Then early November, late October / early November, dropped the jerseys for pre-order, and they pump. And they did really well. And a lot of learning curves there. They pumped late in the piece, not early, so I was kind of panicking. But I felt like that was my best rollout. I did a lot of football centric content, a lot of football content, and I hope a lot of football fans got around it. I got a few random orders, which is always really cool. But yeah, that was one of my favorite things to do by far. Late in October, also did the Matt Craig and Joe K pods. What I learned from Matt Craig, oh fuck man, don't ever let that flame die. Don't ever let your passion down. Just keep going. That's one thing about Matt, man, or what MF sees as well. It's like, yeah, he just does not stop at anything for what he wants to achieve and what he wants to be a part of, and that shit's contagious. And Joe K is the same thing, man. Find a fucking niche and have a crack. Football's not that much of a niche, but Australian football is. And he is killing it. And we had an awesome conversation. The clip's pumped. We got people talking about National Second Division, people talking about Gather Round, whatever the fucking A-League Magic Round. We got people talking about all these different things in Australian football. That was the aim of the podcast. We killed it, whether you like my opinion or not, because some of you don't. Well, I got you talking about it. That's what I wanted. So, dubs over here. And then, yeah, Joe K pod. Joe K with his niche. The one thing I learned about Joe K is like niche. Yeah. One thing I learned is niche. So in a sense of football's not a niche, but Australian football is, because how many sports do we have over here? If you're watching this, you probably think, no, it's not fair. Well, it is in the grand scheme of life. There's 8 billion people on earth. How many people care about Australian football? And Joe just dived headfirst into it, killed it, and his production's improved over time tenfold. But yeah, just like have a fucking crack. So find a niche, see what you can do with it. That's what Joe's done. I fucking love it. I love it. He does so well for himself now, and I'm in terms of like content and yeah. Then 18th of November on like a 3-night turnaround with the 21st in between and a whole weekend planned already. I dropped Helos and Grow. So the way I did that was Friday afternoon, I got an hour free, and because it has a nature club on the back, I went out to one of the boys' houses. They have a swing out in the bush. Shot some content there quickly, and then went home that night, had things to do, woke up 5:30 a.m, went for a run with the boys. I said to them, I was like, hey, can you push the boats out a bit for me? Do like 8 to 10 kilometers for me. So I did a 5K run with them, I loop, and then I got in the car, got the camera ready, and I drive, stop, take photos, get in the car, drive in front of them again, stop, take photos, continue. Did that, and I had all the boys in a different Helos and Grow tee. So yeah, that's how that came to life. And then I filmed the Jake and Juan pods, or Juan. Why the fuck did I say Juan? I filmed the Jake pod again. We already went over that. And Juan, and man, oh, what a rapper Juan is. But also, what did I learn about him? What did I learn about Juan? There's a lot to take from him. His lyrics especially. Never assume. The thing about Juan is he presents like kind of like one of the boys, right? Like just one of the boys, enjoys a good time. But like his mind is at a level where he addresses social issues at such an intellectual level through his medium of art. Never fucking assume what you're going to get from someone, eh? That's one thing about Juan. It's like the fucking Vent is one of the best songs this year, if not the best. It's one of the best songs this year. And he delivered that like, yeah, oh man. I don't know how to really word that. But yeah, and then I went overseas after that. There's a few podcasts in here that I did, but guess kind of maybe we filmed it, I edited it, and then they never got around to cross-checking it, which never helps. But some had contractual obligations that they'd broken in doing the podcast, so obviously couldn't release it. And then some just didn't want it out. They did it, didn't want it out. Is what it is. Is what it is. I can't change it. Can't change it. Is what it is, man. That's a beautiful mindset to go through life with. Now, I'm going to answer some questions I got sent. My heart is not to be played with. Okay, so if we go here. All right, here we go. A few questions. What's your favorite drop that you've done? Which was the hardest? Football Kids, Suresh. That's from Suresh. Football Kids by far. The marketing rollout. I learned a lot about marketing this year. I'm going to take a second to address that. Marketing. It's not about the product. Oh, well, it is about the product. Obviously, have quality product. Having a quality product in itself is marketing, right? People are going to tell people about it. How do I word what I want to say? A rollout. A rollout's critical because you're trying to convey a message behind a product. And if you can do that and align your product with people's beliefs and belongings, you're in good stead. And I learned marketing is probably the funnest part about business if you do it right. Otherwise, it's a drag. If you know how to do marketing, it's probably the funnest part. Sam Island, love you, bro. Proud of what you're doing, mate. Thank you so much, Sam. When I tell people the Dave story, I always think about you. So the second part of the Dave story, when my mate that met Dave a few days later at Falls, is that the one at Byron? Yeah, go with that. The one who met him at Falls a few days later in Byron, and he mentioned, you met Harry, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's Sam. He met him because he had backstage tickets. So, yeah, Sam, appreciate you, man. Love you. Thank you. This guy, actually, Sam Island, I'm going to tell you something about Sam Island quickly while I'm on the podcast. Sam Island, so I got parked in by my sister's car when I was like 17, 18. It's a manual. I had no idea what I was doing. And Sam, I worked with that time at Coles, and I said, hey, bro, can you come over? My sister's parked me in a car. He goes, yeah, sweet, whatever. No stress, I'll move it. And he's like, can you not move it? I was like, no, it's a manual. What do I look like, a fucking mechanic? Lewis Hamilton? No, I don't know how to drive a fucking manual. Anyway, and he came over, moved it, and then we just played some games of FIFA on the Xbox after. And then, dude, this guy goes to me and goes, I got to show you something. Yeah, what is it, man? I was playing the YouTubes, and he goes on YouTube and he types in like 6ix9ine. And I'd never heard anything like it. I shit you not. It only at the time had 5 or 6 million views. Now, seems like a lot for what 6ix9ine went on to do, and in that era of YouTube as well. But what he went on to do, pretty crazy. And yeah, that was like one of his first songs. What's it called? What one was it? Billy. Skunk Gang. Yeah. Billy. Yeah, because it was, maybe it was Coda or Cuda. Definitely wasn't Gummo, because Gummo was his first. And then, after that, he was definitely on his way, that's for sure. But yeah, he showed me that. So shout out to him, man. Liam Dale, opinion on Luai to Tigers. It's one of the boys' younger brothers from football. I say do it, Luai. Get your payday. Should you try the milk before you buy the cow? I don't know, Lenny. I don't know. What else we got? Lenny. I'm not reading that out loud. Lachlan Jones, your biggest influence guest on the podcast so far. Isaac John is by default my biggest influence and probably my biggest guest. Numbers wise, yeah, because he killed it on Spotify as well. I think he has a really good Spotify following, so it would have got put in like algorithms. But yeah, that it was influential in the sense it influenced me a lot in reaffirming my belief, my self-belief, and my confidence. What guest influence inspired you the most this year, and what are your goals for next year? All right, just answer the other one. But what are my goals for next year? From Jamay. What are my goals for next year? Well, I have a few. And then the podcast will be ending. But until then, let's revise some of my goals to the end of the year. I wrote these down. So, Helos, the main ones. I want to hit 100 episodes of Helos and Homies, which means out of the 52 weeks in a calendar year, I've got to release 36. I'm definitely doing that. I'll probably hit... I'm going to aim, honestly... I want to aim for more than 52 episodes next year. I'd like to release bonus episodes, ideally. That's what I'd like to do. Where it's just me yarning. Because if people like it, they like it. If they don't, then I won't. I'll go and fuck myself. Launch Helos Havoc series. That's a freestyle series I want to do. It's going to be very raw. It's not going to be post-produced. It's just going to have a beat, a rapper in front of his favorite local spot, and then just throwing down bars. That's all it is. It's nothing crazy. And obviously there'll be some production, like we're probably going to run the beat. No, I'm going to have to run the beat there. Because what I want to do is like this. I don't know if you ever saw Street Stars. Dave. All right, here we go. Sorry. I don't have a corner or a Jamae on deck today.
Street Stars TV, Freedom Magnum, you know what it is. Dave, listen. Look. Brother got me thinking it's like 5 p.m. and I'm drinking. I might use my mind where I'm thinking there's no iPod, but I'm sinking. It's like calm down, you're not listening. You're the 3Gs, but I'm picturing. Yeah, 3 fiends are addicted. And a few shots we went missing, but none of you man want beef.
So I want to do that. The way I want to do it is the rappers I know and what they can throw down is pretty remarkable. So I want to do something like that. I want to do something exactly like that. Whether I put the beat down post shooting and just shoot them raw freestyling with the beat in the background, then match the beat after, I don't know. I have to talk to a few people about that. But yeah, that's just where I'm at with that. So yeah, I just want to get this like real raw, this real raw type of vibe going and just see where it goes. Just see where it goes. I just want to launch it, and then from there, we'll see what happens. But I think it'd be really cool. Shout out Dave, by the way. That was like the first thing he did. That was 8 years ago. See where he's at now. It was nuts. 100 episodes, 1 product a month. I want to launch Run Club as well. I want to do 1 product a month. That's a big thing. So yeah, gonna aim for that, or at least 12 products in the year. And then, last one is launch the Run Club indefinitely. Sporting Club Helos, collaborate with other brands. I want to cover the national second division at length. That's going to be one of the most historic things in Australian football. Run Club's launched and really produce like an actual production around Sunday League, and also produce like some of the ideas I've got for content I'm honestly pleased with. So I'm going to try that. But yeah, I don't know, man. Overall for 2024, I just want to keep doing, and I don't know how to word it well. I just kind of want to continue on my ideas that I have now and what I'm already doing, and nail it to an extent where I'm not only proud of myself, but I'm in a position to start really producing more things at a higher and better quality level. I think that's something where I want to be at. But yeah. It's hard, man. Like, for those who don't know, it's just, I have the boys helping like switch podcasts and stuff, but like editing wise, it's all me. Shooting wise, it's often I shoot. But I do get a few of the boys to shoot a few things. But yeah. It's a solo mission. I'm running 2 at the same time. And I have my job as well. And then I also do freelance work. So it's kind of, I'm not struggling, not drowning either. There's people with fucking 4 jobs in war-torn countries. I'm very blessed. I know that. But it can be hard. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that. How to do that better. But yeah, what are some other things I learned this year? What are some other things I learned this year? Patience. Too many people are way too impatient. These guys think they can come in and fucking... Nah, you got to wait your turn, man. Stay down till you come up's a big thing, right? Patience. Yeah. And the other thing I learned about brands is you got to fucking stand for something, eh? Like if you have a brand, not clothing, just anything, right? If you got a brand, like a water brand, right? And it's... you donate a certain amount to charity. You got to stand on that, and you got to show people that you are what you're about. Helos and Grow, on a much more novel level than something like charity, it stands on everything it is, and it stands on everything it is, and there's a proof that it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So, and the people I shoot in it reinforce that idea. It's the same sense if you're building something on a public platform, or even to yourself, whatever you're doing. Like I call myself a runner because I run so much now. But yeah, if you're going to do something, give yourself an undeniable stack of evidence that you are who you say you are, or it is what it is, or it is what you say it is, I should say. And And then that way, no matter what happens, you'll move forward in good stead because you did that. And you know you fucking did something to the best of your ability and you gave it all you got. What other things have I learned? Building out a team is really fucking hard. I'll leave that there. People, dude, these people go, oh, people don't get me, people don't understand my vision. They're not fucking meant to. You're meant to be an individual. That's something I kind of struggle with this year, right? It's like people don't get my vision. People don't get people aren't aligned with me. I'm on a different. Shut up, man. People aren't meant to get it. And it's also how well you communicate it. It's how well you communicate your ideas and visions, man. Because how the fuck's anyone meant to get it, you know? Like, if you don't tell them and communicate it to a perfect extent. But also, not everyone wants to do what you want to do. That's main character syndrome kicking in right there. You just think what you do is the most important thing in the world. No one cares. And that's another thing I learned, right? No one cares. Equally as scary as it is beautiful. People obviously care about you. But in the sense of, okay, for take flight event, I had to get in front of the camera in front of a lot of people. No one cares or remembers. Everyone's got, I think it's called Sonder. Everyone's just got everything else going on. Chubbs just entered the studio. But yeah, so Sonder's a massive thing where it's everyone lives their own complex lives and has their own complex problems, which is a massive thing. So yeah, that's another thing I learned this year is no one really cares and there's a beauty in that. And if someone does care, take your time to recognize that and really appreciate them. Tell people you love them. That's another thing. I always remember that. What about business? Oh, take your time. Take your time and make sure, work hard, but make sure if you're going to do something, do it properly. Because I fucked up so many times. I've lost so much money doing that. It's not last thing because I'm going to have more things come to me. This year, all the people I met, which I never thought I'd meet and call friends, but I think a big thing I learned is just have good intentions and you'll align yourself with the most beautiful souls. If you have corrupt intentions, the music industry, right? If you come in there and you're an industry plant and you come in there just trying to make a bunch of money and the people that are around you just trying to extort you for fucking money and use your image for money, everyone picks up on that. It's energy, man. It's energy. People pick up on it. People don't fuck around with that. And you don't create meaningful connection in the long run. No one's going to back you. No one's going to have your back. Falls down, then everything fucking falls down. So yeah, align yourself with really pure intentions. And I think with alignment, you don't have to align yourself with people with the exact same goals, rather people's, I think the most important thing to do is align yourself with people who have similar values, similar moral code, and more importantly, surround yourself with people with goals, but they don't have to be that. People's goals don't have to be the same as yours. I think that's a big thing. But as long as people have goals and they're working towards something, and just you don't have to be, but if you are working towards something yourself, aligning yourself with people who have things to work towards, that always helps. I have people that have very vastly different goals, but aligning myself with them always helps because there's someone just bounce back off and asking questions and whatnot. And another thing, last thing is fucking learn to listen. So many people just wait to talk. Just learn to listen. Be surprised what you pick up on. Besides that, man, what a year it was. Commercially wise, yeah, I didn't kill it or anything like that at all. But I had the most fun. A lot of long nights that no one sees, but that's boring to talk about. But yeah, a lot of nights on 4 or 5 hours sleep, less than 3 sometimes. But working towards their goals, it's just brick by brick, day by day, and before you know it, you'll be where you always wanted to be. So, and if you aren't, maybe you're in a better position than you thought you could be. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's been an awesome year. The Sunday League's been so fucking cool. The podcast has been fucking amazing. 2-7 Project's been one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me. And just being surrounded by these people, man, I can't ask for anything more. The most beautiful thing in life is just being surrounded by good souls and pure intentions, and I feel that's a big part of my life at this point in time. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I hope you have an amazing New Year. I'll be back next week with another podcast. It does not stop over the New Year's. I'll make sure we get another potty out to you. And until then, stay safe. Tell people you love them. And see you next week.